Prior to learning about Danny Johnson, my home business was stuck. I've been in the industry for about 7 years, and I was doing everything for everyone. I was spending all my time developing trainings, barely recruiting, and my business was actually shrinking. And I also had poor spending habits. I was spending everything I was making, living paycheck to paycheck. While I was going through all that, I was actually working 7 days a week. I never took a day off. Actually, I didn't even know how to really relate to my girlfriend, Crystal, because I did not understand why she always wanted to have so much fun, because I was all work and no play. 4 months ago, I plugged into Danny's First Steps to Success event, and I also attended Creating a Dynasty right after. And those two events, I actually learned a duplicatable system for my business that made them system dependent instead of Jared dependent, which was great. My life skills the life skills that I learned from Danny are just light years ahead of what I knew before, and they're producing results, and my business is growing again. In fact, in the last 4 weeks, here in January, my business has produced over $40,000 in sales volume and produced a $6,500 check for the month. And since plugging in, I've also been able to pay off 2 credit cards. I've released $2,200 in debt in the last 4 months. I've been able to pay cash for all the events I've been able to attend. And what's just as exciting is I'm actually working smarter, not harder. I'm only working 35 hours a week now and taking a day off each week to rest and relax. And I had not taken a day off in a long, long time. So that was great. And even my relationship with Crystal has improved, and I now understand her so much better and making sure she's a priority. So that if you're wanting to work smarter, not harder, and make more money and help more people, I suggest you attend the next First Steps to Success event. It's actually a money-back guarantee on the event, but I can tell you after seeing thousands of happy clients, it will pay you much more than you invest, and you're going to have a blast the entire time.
Before attending First Steps to Success, my wife Chanel and I had just gotten married, and we didn't have any dreams or goals in life. We were 19 years old when we got married. I was in the military, and she was faithfully working 2 part-time jobs. We couldn't keep up with our bills even with all that income, and debt was getting a stronghold in our life. We couldn't communicate effectively, and relationships with people at work were poor at best. After attending First Steps to Success, we paid off $25,000 worth of debt. We've been able to invest $35,000, and we've saved $5,000 on top of all that just within 12 months. Because of Jim's training that Danny teaches, I applied it at work, and I received a promotion 6 months early, which in the military doesn't really happen that often. In a couple of weeks, I'll be out of the military, allowing me to focus on our travel business full-time. In our second month of that business, our income went from $3,000 to $9,400 in that 1 month. Our marriage is on fire, and we're so madly in love with each other. Chanel left both her part-time jobs, and we were still able to increase our income. We recently had a baby, and life's going to be better. I know that some of you who hear this, you're doing fine. You have the life that you've always wanted. Your finances are perfect. Your relationships are perfect. You know where you want to go, and you're making that happen. But you definitely know someone who doesn't have that kind of life. So please share the story with them and tell them to get to First Steps to Success. If we hadn't gone to First Steps, that was 13 months ago that we went, we would be up to our eyeballs in debt. In fact, when we heard about Danny Johnson, we were in debt, and we were on vacation with only $500 in our bank account, which doesn't make any kind of sense, but there's no doubt in my mind that we would still be doing that today with less money in the bank account and more debt if we hadn't been able to apply what we learned at First Steps.
Prior to finding DannyJohnson.com, my husband and I were drowning in over $500,000 in debt. We were constantly fighting over money. We were heading for a divorce. I was working a dead-end job. I had no hope, and I was suicidal. After plugging into First Steps to Success, we were able to close a $345,000 deal on our own house. We paid off over $450,000 in debt in 17 months. Our marriage has been completely restored, and I have hope and a reason to live again. Using just one strategy I learned at the last event, I actually generated $5,000 in profit in the last 4 weeks, working about 20 hours a week. Prior to First Steps, I was really only generating maybe $3,000 a month. And since plugging into First Steps, I generated about $5,000 in the last few weeks. So I know that your life is probably wonderful and you're making a ton of money and your marriage is smoking hot, but if it's not, then join me at the next First Steps to Success. If I had not gone to First Steps to Success immediately after hearing about it, I would either not be alive or I would be divorced from my husband. And if I had waited any longer, my entire life would have been destroyed. So I would definitely say to anyone that it doesn't matter. She's not going to come to your area. She's not going to come to small town USA. We don't even know for sure if Danny's going to do another event. So I would say book your tickets now. Of course, if your life is great and you're making a ton of money and you're serving a ton of people, you're really able to have fun in what you do and work effectively, then stay home. But if that's not the case, then you need to get on a plane and you need to join me and start getting results today and not waiting.